It had been 3 long years since Prince Ibekwe disappeared with Amaka, the Osu girl he loved and married in secret. They now lived quietly, hiding in distant villages. The prince never stayed too long in one place. If he ever met anyone from Umuezi by chance, he would pack his things and move again. He didn't want anyone tracing his steps, especially those sent by his father. Back in Umuezi, the palace had changed. The once joyful King Obedike was now a shadow of himself. He had sent many men, friends, guards, and even strangers to search for his son. He had searched by himself too, disguised and heartbroken, but no one could find the prince. One day, hope came from a distant place called Obodo Ala. Chief Nama, one of the oldest and most respected chiefs in Umueze, found Ibekwe there. The prince was working as a local healer and farmer. He looked strong and healthy, but quiet and serious. Chief Nama greeted him warmly and delivered the king's message. "Your father is calling you home. The kingdom needs you." But Prince Ibekwe shook his head slowly. "I will not return," he said. "Not until the king and all the chiefs declare that Osus are freeborns. I have chosen to live with them, to bear their pain. I cannot take my wife to a palace where people will call her cursed. I cannot be king over a people who still believe in such evil." Chief Nama was moved by the prince's words, but returned to Umueze with the message. When King Obedike heard what his son had said, he sat in silence for a long time. He then called an emergency meeting of all the village chiefs. At the meeting, he explained his son's stand and asked the chiefs to consider ending the Osu tradition once and for all. But almost all the chiefs shouted in anger. "This is dangerous," one of them warned. "It will bring the gods' wrath upon us." Another one said, "If we do this, the blood of the ancestors will rise against us." King Obedike tried to speak again, but before he could finish his words, he suddenly fell to the ground. The palace was thrown into confusion. The king had fainted. For the next 6 months, King Obedike could not walk well or speak clearly. The kingdom lived in fear and sorrow. Everyone wondered if the gods were angry or if this was punishment for the prince's actions. Meanwhile, Prince Ibekwe had vanished again. After Chief Nama left Obodo Ala, the prince moved without leaving a trace. No one had seen or heard from him since then. Still, the chiefs refused to abolish the Osu tradition. Some even said the prince had brought a curse on the land by marrying Amaka. As the king's health grew worse, the palace began to fall apart. Powerful chiefs began to plot. Some tried to bribe their way to the throne. Wealthy relatives started holding secret meetings, claiming royal blood and demanding the crown. Arguments broke out. There was no order anymore. Confusion filled the land. The kingdom was at the edge of anarchy. And yet, there was still no sign of Prince Ibekwe. What will happen if the king dies now? Will Umuezi ever see its prince again? Will the Osu tradition finally be abolished? Watch out for part 3 to find out.